Hello, Class 8. This is the chapter number 7 in your literature book, The Man in the Train. There are only two chapters for your UT2 syllabus, that is, The Man in the Train and Port Blair. Today, we will do this chapter, The Man in the Train. In this chapter, we will see that there was a man in the train, and the lady Mrs. Blake, she was also there in the train, and how she misunderstood him and what it led to be, what actually happened, who he actually was. That is what we are going to see in this chapter. All right, let's start reading this interesting chapter. Once we watch a crime movie or read about some crime in the newspaper, we get so influenced by it that even any ordinary situation appears to be frightful and full of all kinds of suspense. We feel insecure and threatened at every step of our life. The story you are going to read below serves as an example of this statement. So, what is given in this statement? That suppose you watch any crime movie or you read about some crime that happened in the newspaper, what happens? You get so much influenced by those by that incident, that now when you go around anywhere, and if someone is there following you, you just think that okay, some crime is going to happen. And it's obvious, it happens. Like whenever you watch any horror movie, what happens with you? You just think that you are surrounded with ghosts. So these things happen, okay? And when you think that all these things are happening with you, then you feel insecure, you feel threatened at every step. This is exactly what we are going to read in this chapter. All right, now let's start reading this chapter. Mrs. Blake saw him first on the platform at Victoria Station, a tall, heavy man with dark hair, carrying a case and a light overcoat over his arm. Do we know this man? She asked her husband, who was seeing her off at the station for a day's visit to some cousins in Eastbourne. I'm sure I have seen him somewhere before. Mr. Blake shook his head. I've never seen him in my life, he said. Now, have you got everything you wanted? A newspaper? Alright, so what happens? The scenario start, the scene where all this thing is happening is a platform, and that is Victoria Station. And Mrs. Blake, she saw a man who was tall, heavy, with dark hair, and he was carrying a case, a briefcase, and he was carrying a light overcoat over his arm. And after seeing him, she thought that I have seen him somewhere. And she asked her husband, have we seen him ever in our life? He said, no, I think we have never seen him. And where was she going to? She was going to visit some cousins in Eastbourne. All right. And when he was her husband went to say her goodbye to the station, see off his wife, and he said that I have not seen him anywhere. And he asked that okay, now you have got everything that you wanted, do you want a newspaper? So these were the things that was said by Mr. Blake. All right, then see what she said. No thanks, I've read the paper this morning, please get me a magazine and some water. Then what she said, that no thanks, I don't want a newspaper, I have read this in the morning, I have read the newspaper in the morning, please get me a magazine so that I can read throughout the journey, and some water. Alright. Mr. Blake bought his wife's tickets at the booking office and then found her a seat in an empty first class carriage. I'm sorry I can't stay until the train goes, he said. I shall be late at the office now. Then what happens? Mr. Blake, he bought the ticket of his wife from the booking station and found that there's a seat in a empty first class carriage. Then he said, sorry, I can't stay with you till the train goes by, as I have to go to office and I don't want to be late. Alright, I hope this much is clear. Now see here, Mrs. Blake waved goodbye to her husband and sat down in a corner to read the magazine. Then, just as the train was about to start, the tall, dark man got in. He put his overcoat and case on the luggage rack above his head and sat down in the seat facing her. As soon as the train started, he took out a newspaper and began to read. So, in that compartment where Mrs. Blake was there, at the same in the same apartment, this suspicious, tall, dark man got in, and he put his overcoat and his luggage above the rack that is provided there, and he sat down facing her. They both were sitting in the opposite direction, facing each other, and he started reading newspaper. Who started reading? That tall dark man. All right, now see, Mrs. Blake looked at him. She was sure she knew him. Then suddenly she remembered in the newspaper that morning some pictures on the front page, and among them the picture of a man whom the police wanted to find. A man the police said was a killer. Now the man was sitting there with her in an empty compartment of a train traveling at 60 miles an hour, a train that did not stop over an hour until it go to Eastbourne. What happened? When she saw him, who saw him? Mrs. Blake. She saw him, and then she suddenly remembered, I know him. How? Uh, she said that the newspaper that she read in the morning, and in that newspaper she has seen his picture on the front page, and then there was some picture of a man whom police wanted to find, and now she was thinking that this man was that killer whom the police want. And now she's thinking that this train is not going to stop until it will reach Eastbourne, and it is traveling at 60 miles per hour, and if suppose he tries to kill me, I won't be able to escape, because the train is traveling at 60 miles an hour, and she is in an empty compartment with him alone. All right, now see what happens next. Mrs. Blake was frightened, very frightened. What ought she to do? Put the alarm cord above her head and stop the train. But what shall I say to the guard when he comes? She asked herself. I can't be sure, is this the man? If it is the man in the picture, what will he do if I get up to pull the cord? Now what happened? That because of that sudden thought, now she's thinking he's the killer, and she is alone in an empty compartment with the killer. She got frightened, very frightened, and now she's thinking, what should I do? If suppose he attacks me, what should I do? What should I do? Should I just pull that emergency alarm cord? There's a alarm cord in the trains. You have seen that. So she thought that I should do that, and then she thought that what happens if he is not that man? She was not very sure that he is the same person whom she has seen in the newspaper. So she thought, when the guard will come and ask me that why I have pulled that alarm cord, what will I say? And then she thought, if suppose this is the man, this is the killer, then what will he do when I will just stand up to pull the cord? So these were the thoughts that was going on in Mrs. Blake's head. All right. Then see here, the man was still reading his newspaper, and Mrs. Blake went on watching him over her magazine. If only I had that newspaper John wanted to buy me, she thought. I could have a look at the picture again and be sure. Then she was again, that man, he was reading his newspaper in a very casual way, and Mrs. Blake, she was trying to peep from her magazine, and she was just staring him, so that she just became sure that is it the same man or not. And now she was thinking, if I would have said yes to my husband John, that okay, bring me that newspaper, I would have been sure, but now I can't be sure. All right, now see, after a time the man put down his paper and looked out of the window. As she watched him, Mrs. Blake became surer and surer that he was the man in the picture, a killer who always uses a knife, the paper said. Then she remembered something else from the newspaper story, something about a woman killed by this man in a train. So what happened? After some time, that man, he put down his paper and he started looking out to see the view. And she was watching him continuously so that she became sure, and now she was becoming surer and surer that he was the only man whose picture was there in the newspaper. And what is being said about this killer, that he always uses a knife to kill the victims. And she also remembered that there was a story about a woman that was killed by this killer in a train. So now you can imagine how frightened she has become. All right. Now see here. Suddenly she sat up. The man's hand was moving toward the pocket of his coat. Slowly, he put down his hand into the pockets and took out a knife. Carefully, he opened the blade. A long blade pointed at the end. So now that horrified dream has come true, she sat up, and she saw that the man's hand was moving toward his pocket of his coat. And what he took out from his coat, from the pocket of his coat, he took out a knife, and he carefully opened the blade, and that was a very pointed blade, a very long pointed knife. Okay, now see what happens. Mrs. Blake wanted to jump to her feet and scream for help, but she could not move. Fear held her. Only her eyes watched the open knife in the man's hand. Now his other hand began to move toward his pocket. He's looking for a handkerchief to put over my mouth so that no one will hear me, she thought. But instead, he took out an apple and began to peel it slowly, putting the peel carefully into a paper bag. Then he took out from his pocket. After seeing that knife, that long pointed knife, she wanted to jump out of fear and scream for help, but she could not move because of fear. You know, when you are too frightened, you just get stuck. So that exactly thing happened with Mrs. Blake. Only thing that she could see is that her she can now only see that the man's hand and with a open knife. Now his another hand began to move toward the pocket of his coat, and what she thought, that he's looking for a handkerchief so that he can put over her mouth, so that if she even scream, no one can hear her. But what happened? He took out an apple from his coat and started peeling it, and the peel he carefully kept in a paper bag that he took out from his pocket as well. Okay, so nothing happened as per Mrs. Blake was thinking. Now see, Mrs. Blake breathed more easily. Perhaps he wasn't the killer after all. But no, she looked. Now what happens, that now she thought that, okay, I think I was wrong, and she breathed in a cozy, easy way, and she thought, no, he's not the killer. But no, then what happens? See, she again looked at his face. She was quite sure now that it was the face in the newspaper picture, and then he did something which brought back all her fears. He finished peeling his apple, and instead of putting the knife back into his pocket, he put it down, still open, on the seat beside him. So what happens, that she was breathing now in a cozy way, but what happened, that she saw that he was not putting the knife back after peeling the apple. He was supposed to put the knife back, but he didn't did that. Instead, he kept the knife beside him. So now she again started assuming that he is the killer. Then see what happens. She lifted her magazine. For now he was watching her, his deep dark eyes never moving. Now she lifted her magazine to read, and now the tall dark man was watching her. Now see, now thought Mrs. Blake, nearly dead with fear, now he's going to kill me. But the man opened the window, threw out the paper bag with the apple peel, closed the window, and sat down again. So as he was staring her, she thought that now he's going to kill me. But what happened? Instead, the man, he opened the window and threw out that bag that was full with apple peel, and then he closed it again, and then he sat down back. Alright. Now see, over the top of her magazine, she saw the man's right hand move toward the open knife on the seat beside him. At that moment, the train began to slow down. Mrs. Blake saw the houses and street of Eastbourne moving past the window. Then the train stopped and the man stood up. So what happened? she was trying to see over from the top of her magazine. She saw that the man's hand again moved toward that open knife that was there beside him. And at that moment the train was getting slow down, because after some time Eastbourne was about to reach. Got it? And what she saw, that the man, he stood up. Then she said yes, she was right, he was a killer. For outside on the platform waiting for him were two policemen. As he got down from the train, both policemen saluted smartly. Good morning, Inspector, one of them said. What she thought, that yes, now she was sure that he was a killer, because two policemen were waiting outside and she thought that they will come to arrest him. But what happened instead, when as soon as he get down from the train, both the policemen saluted him, and one of the two said, "Good morning, Inspector." Now see what happens. "The chief constable is waiting for you at the police station, sir. We have a car outside." And he said that policemen, the one who were waiting, they said, "The chief constable is waiting for you at the police station. We have a car outside waiting for you." Now see, as they walked away down the platform, Mrs. Blake picked up the newspaper, which was still on the seat. There on the front page were two pictures, one of a small man with thin lips and another of big dark man she now knew so well. Under the first were the words Jack the killer, and under the second, Inspector Thornhorn of Scotland Yard in charge of the case. Mrs. Blake smiled as she got into a taxi. John always says I don't read the newspaper carefully enough, she thought. Then what happened? As they walked away the platform, Mrs. Blake, she picked up the newspaper that was left by him on that seat, and on the front page there were two pictures, one with a small man with thin lips, and there was written that he's Jack the killer, and another picture was there of the same man who was sitting in front of her, and he was Inspector Thornhorn of Scotland Yard in charge of that case. And then when she got into a taxi, she smiled, and she recalled that John, her husband, always say that she doesn't read newspaper carefully, and she thought that yes, he was saying right. So we should not make just by looking someone, we just can't think that okay, that person is something else or something like that, unless and until we know about it. So that was the story of this chapter, The Man in the Train. This was a very short story. Alright. Now let's see tick the correct options and the question answers. I'll send you, will send you the question and answers. Okay. Tick the correct option C. When Mrs. Blake looked at the man sitting in the seat facing her, option C is correct. She remembered that she had seen his picture in the newspaper. Then second is, when the man in the train took out a knife and opened its blade, option A is correct. Mrs. Blake wanted to jump to her feet and shout out loud for help. Then third is, when the train stopped and the man got down at the station, option 2 is correct. Two policemen saluted and greeted him. Alright. So this finishes at this chapter. Again, I'm telling you, this chapter is easy, short. Just go through it. Alright. And see that you don't find any problem. Easy. It's an easy and interesting story. Alright. So bye. Take care. We'll meet in the next video.